Did you ever have any weird pets growing up?
I had a hamster.
Did it have a name and did it have a crazy death? Because hamsters seem to always have the wildest ways out.
Well, actually, its name was Holly.
Okay.
I woke up one morning and my parents just said it was dead, and I didn't witness it. I didn't see it happen. And
I think I need to go up a rank to figure out what happened to the hamster.
I was very depressed. I cried my eyes out.
What's up, man? How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Welcome to Spout. We've got Sombr here with us. You just dropped a new song, Undressed. So how's that feel, man?
I don't wanna get undressed for a new person all over again. I don't wanna kiss someone else's neck and have to pretend it's yours instead.
It feels incredible. I'm absolutely blown away by the response.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah, and this comes just months after Back to Friends.
How can we go back to being friends when we just shared a bed? How can you look at me and pretend I'm someone you never met?
Which has had such a wild response. I saw Elton John played it on his radio show.
My Rock It Out on Apple Music. Here's Sombr, S-O-M-B-R, and Back to Friends.
He said my name!
What was that like when you saw someone as iconic as Elton John listening to your music, and how did you find out?
It's like something that like still hasn't hit me yet. It's like when someone like that recognizes you, it's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you top that? Like, that is someone you can't. It's Elton John.
And it's my mom's favorite artist of all time, so I always grew up listening to him. And then when he was doing his farewell tour, I went to the Dodger Stadium, saw it with my mom. Incredible. So I can't even imagine.
I mean, that's like as legendary as it gets. Like a living musician, as legendary. So just him appreciating my work is like, can't ask for anything more. It's insane. And I found out. How did I find out? Oh yeah, like we just got an email like a few days before that he was gonna play it on his radio show, and you know we tuned in during the radio show and it came on, and I just like lost my shit.
Do I ever cross your mind? 'Cause you still cross mine. Do I ever cross your mind? 'Cause you still cross mine.
So how did music kick off for you? I know you grew up in a musical household. Your dad was in bands, always had instruments around the house. When did you pick it up, and what did you start with?
Well, I it's just always been a part of me.
Yeah.
I started with production like on GarageBand. I was like making beats, like rap beats. I tried to be a rapper, and then it slowly evolved like into musical theater when I was younger, and then I went to an arts high school called LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And then that's when like I started writing like kind of indie rock, like shoegaze type stuff. I'm producing it myself. And then I made a song, Caroline.
Oh, Caroline, just one time.
That song I posted on the internet, and then the next day like everything changed. It was like that kind of thing. And now we're here. Just been doing it ever since then.
Yeah, which you went to LaGuardia, such an iconic school for people in arts, and that's where like Timothy Chalamet has gone, and I love him, and that's where like Nicki Minaj has gone. So many crazy names, and it's a school name I hear all the time, but I don't really get it. So what exactly is LaGuardia, and like how do you get into it, and what's the experience kind of offer?
Yeah, so you have to audition.
Okay.
There's like a few departments. There's vocals, instrumental, art, and dance. I might be missing one. So yeah, basically like at a normal school you'll have to like do a test or like it's like for academics, but like you had to go in a room and like sing for someone to get into the school. I know, it's so nerve-wracking. So yeah, and then the school basically like the school day is like way longer than a normal school day because you have to do academics and like a few classes for your major, which mine was vocal. And it was just a crazy experience. I love that school with my whole heart. And I love all the kids, and it's it's amazing.
Did Caroline come out the clip of it while you were still in school there?
Yeah, I was I think a junior in high school, and I wrote Caroline and put it out, and yeah, I dropped out after that.
Yeah, and then you changed your focus. Because what's crazy with like your generation, you're 19,
Yeah.
is that so many different pieces of technology have been accessible your whole life to learn music production early. So you were doing GarageBand and stuff when you were like 10, 11
Yeah.
years old, and getting all the practice in that people go to school for, the basic understanding of songwriting. So what finally got to the point to get you to start releasing music as Sombr?
Just the internet, like it's crazy. Like no one can decide who can make it in music but the people, which
Yeah.
I think is crazy. Anyone can post something and their life can be changed. So it's just like seeing other people on the internet do it, you know, on YouTube and TikTok, and you know, I was just like, you know, this is what I want to do. I posted it. I expected to get bullied. I got bullied, but then I also got not bullied. You know, so it's crazy.
I don't wanna get undressed for a new person all over again.
So with bullying and just the online world in general and your music, so songs like Undressed, it's a very like intimate song about being vulnerable with someone new, or not wanting to be vulnerable, or the fear of it with someone new. A lot of your songs are very vulnerable. Is that easy for you to do, or is it a scary process for you to do? As more time goes on, is it easier?
I think it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to be real than try to emulate something. So, you know, I just, you know, I only write late at night, and I just write about things that I'm actually feeling. So yeah, it comes really naturally.
What's cool about the album In Another Life that you put out is it features so many of the songs throughout your teenage years that you were writing that you finally got a chance to bring to life. The last track on the album is Weak. Which incorporates two songs that you had written at one time and then
Yeah.
put together. So what's kind of the story behind that? Because it gives a whole new meaning when you listen to the song, I feel like.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like there were two demos that I just could not finish. And I'd written them before Caroline. Like this is before anyone knew who I was. And when I was like, after we put out Caroline, we're like, we need to work on a project, like an EP. So I had those two demos, and they were both so special, but I couldn't write out either of them. So I brought it in with Tony Berg, my co-producer, and he was like, let's make these into one song. And then we did it, and that was like the second moment, like after Caroline, and that song just has such a special, it's like the most unique song I've made today. It's so cool. I love it.
Now, I know you're a big film guy. Call Me By Your Name got me really into Timothée Chalamet, and then you guys attended the same school, which is
Yeah.
so crazy. Do you come across like people who know people, like, oh yeah, I went to school with Timmy. He was a
Yeah, well, we were like different, like a bunch of years apart.
Yeah.
But can I just say, like, I'm the biggest fan of Timothy, and like I see myself in him, like just like his mannerisms and the way he talks. I'm like, bro, like you're a LaGuardia kid. And
Did
it's
you
like,
see the Bob Dylan movie?
Yes, I loved it. It's so good.
He was fantastic in it. Would you yourself ever want to, well, first off, act, but also score a movie or do any of the music for a film?
All of the above, man.
Yeah.
I wanna act.
You live out here in LA now?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the city for?
Like a little over a year.
Cool. Are you liking it?
I love it.
And you're from New York, which is such an iconic spot anyways. But is there anything you miss, or what is special that only New York has?
New York is just, you know, it's the greatest city in the world. It's unique. There's, you know, I've visited a lot of cities now, and there's just nothing that can come close to it. It's just romantic. It's beautiful. It's hot and it's cold. LA is great, but I don't think it has that special feeling as much. And I think LA is great for the winter because I can't, since I moved here, I can't do New York winters.
brutal.
Yeah.
I'm from Reno, Nevada, so it snows there a lot in the winter, but I've never experienced a New York winter. I've just seen the videos of like an entire building that looks like an icicle.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's fun for like
That's not-
one day, but then when you're there for a week, it's like, okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm done with this.
no. So you're out here, do you think for the long term, is LA your home for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I have a great community here now, some great friends, and just like a great musical community as well. So there's not really that in New York right now. So
Thought that love was boundless, but clearly I was wrong. Maybe we were meant to be strangers all along.
You've been touring. Was last year the first year that you got to tour?
yeah,
Do you like the
I think.
lifestyle?
I love the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I love it so much. The traveling is definitely a bit difficult, like, just to adjust, but playing the shows is like probably when I'm the happiest.
Yeah. And I know that you're doing the U.S. right now. I think through like the endish of April, you're hitting everywhere. But then after that, you're going with Nessa Barrett over to the
My
UK
girl, yeah.
and Europe and stuff, which is going to be rad.
I'm your shotgun, baby, for the long run. Don't you know I'd die for you? I ride for you.
She's so talented. I don't know if my buddy, but Sage Weber, he's usually Tessa's drummer, and I don't know if he's going to be out with her. But if so, you're going to love Sage. He's great. Have you been overseas before?
I've been to Europe.
Okay,
I've
cool.
never played in Europe, so I'm over the moon. I'm so excited, and Nessa is a gem, and I'm so glad she's taking me out. I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
I love her. She's amazing.
So you've been releasing this past year, like you put a lot of singles out. And is there any plans with those to put them into a larger project together, or how do you approach music? We're kind of in the singles era, I feel like. But
Yeah.
then so what's your plan?
I just make the music and
Yeah.
I let it come out how it comes out. But yeah, I'd say there's definitely a larger project on the horizon. Just can't speak too much about it yet, but it's gonna be good.
No, that's good. And then plenty of shows. I'm sure after this US and after this stuff in Europe happens, you're going to be announcing a lot more. Have you announced any other stuff? I think I just saw one like on your IG story.
Yeah, we announced a festival today, but yeah, the plan is headlines after these tours.
It would've been you. It would've been you. It would've been you. If anyone could have changed me.
Do you do anything in your downtime that's not music related right now, or is everything music? Do you have any other hobbies?
No, it's all music. Like I can lie to you, but it's literally just all music.
So what's your? Are you writing on the road? Are you writing while you're touring? Do you always have a setup with you that's kind of ready to go?
Yeah, so I just got like a portable recording setup. I told myself I would use it, but I haven't used it yet. It's so difficult when I'm on the road.
What did you get?
I got an Apollo Twin. I got a Rhodes microphone, and MIDI keyboard, and just a few other things.
It's pretty remarkable what you
It's
can just go
hard.
pick up at the store, though.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
crazy.
just bring out with you nowadays.
Yeah, you can bring a recording studio on the road with you.
And have one at home.
It's
You can just
wild,
pull one in
and
your
have it at
bedroom and
home.
record stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes, because you write all your lyrics, you write all that. There's so much instrument stuff happening as well. Is that a mixture between you and Tony?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with all my songs, the process basically, I'll start it at home in my home studio, and then I'll bring it into Tony at Sound City, and we'll flesh it out. But most of the instruments I'll play with one of the talented musicians we work with at Sound City with Tony, and all the lyrics I will write, and production is co-production. It's just I love collaborating with Tony. I don't ever want to collaborate with anyone else.
Okay. Cool.
But Back to Friends was actually one of the first ones that are just solely produced by me. And it's crazy that one is getting the response it's getting. 'Cause it's like, no one else could take credit for that.
How can we go back to being friends when we just shared a bed? How can you look at me and pretend I'm someone you never met?
Which
Yeah.
is pretty amazing. How does that feel for you, for someone who's been doing music your whole life?
It's just like I'm glad people can see that it's like actually from me. You know,
And you've also really used social media in such a good way. And I know that you've looked a lot into social media and the algorithm side of stuff. And how, like, what were some tips and tricks, I guess, that you picked up along the way? Say if there's a new artist, someone's like, what do I need to be doing on social media? What would you say, like, this is the way to be doing stuff?
Dude, I feel like there's no tips and tricks. It's like,
Okay.
just be genuine. Like, I'm just a kid who grew up on social media, so I knew how to use it. So it's just like, it's like another language.
And like you were saying earlier, how it's the internet and the world that gets to really decide to find a song that they love. So it's just, you got to put it out there.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Put it
start
out
putting
there. Don't be scared, because you'll regret it if you don't. And like, what's there to lose? You're always gonna get bullied for trying, but then when it actually works, you know.
Call me on your burner phone whenever you're home alone, so your baby don't know what you're doing.
I think music, it seems like, is the path where you're headed. That seems like you found it in. But you like animals.
I love animals.
And you thought before music maybe you want to be a veterinarian.
Yeah, I did.
So what animals are you into, and where does your love of it come from? Because I love them. I have a dog, Frankenstein. She's watching this from home right now. Hi, baby girl.
Hey, baby girl.
But so you're an animal guy.
Yeah,
Let's
I love
talk
dogs.
animals.
I'm a
Dogs.
dog guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm a dog guy. I like cats too. I consider myself to be an animal personally.
We all are.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking beast. So, you know.
Did you grow up with dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of dogs?
I grew up with a golden doodle named Riley.
Oh, golden
and
doodle.
He's just the love of my life.
I hope you can get one sometime that you can bring on the road with you, if it ever makes sense.
Well, what sucks is that like I'm allergic to dogs now.
Oh, okay.
Because I've always been allergic to dogs, but like I grew like immune to it when I was living with my dog back at home. And now whenever I go visit home, it's like I can't be around my dog. Like I sneeze, and it's the saddest
thing ever.
So sad.
It's a mixture of tears and
Literal
and
tears.
just because you're crying, but also it's the allergies.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any weird pets growing up?
No. Well, oh, I had a hamster, and yeah, just a hamster and a dog.
Did it have a name, and did it have a crazy death? Because hamsters
Yeah.
seem to always have the wildest ways out.
Well, actually, its name was Holly.
Okay.
And actually, I woke up one morning and my parents just said it was dead, and you know, I didn't witness it. I didn't see it happen, and
I think I
don't
need to
know
go
who
up a rank
believe.
to figure out what happened
I was
to the
very
hamster.
depressed. I was very depressed. I cried my eyes out. And then we buried it in the park by my apartment.
Rest in peace, Holly.
Yeah,
we love
rest
you.
in peace.
Now, I know you asked Chapel Roan to be on the remix of Back to Friends. I saw the little video of you holding the phone up. Who are some artists that are kind of up and around and popping right now that you'd love to collab with or work with down the line if you could?
I'd say my dream collabs would be Tom York, Justin Vernon, and Phoebe Bridgers, and Billie Eilish.
And has Phoebe worked with Tony?
Phoebe, all her stuff is with
Oh,
Tony.
that's why I know their names
Yeah.
together. That's sick. I imagine you guys are going to work together with Tony. How sick would that be?
It would be crazy.
Good luck on the rest of this tour. And I know Europe is coming up again with Nessa Barrett, which is going to be so sick. So thanks for chatting, man. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you for
it.
having me.
And keep having a good one. Somber,
Appreciate it.
everybody. You can check out his latest song, Undressed, which is out now. It's so good. And then Back to Friends.
Thank
That's
you.
like, I think last week or the week before, it jumped up on 3 Billboard charts.
Crazy.
So congrats to that.
you.
I don't wanna get undressed for a new person all over again.
All right, guys, back in the studio. I am once again Nick Major here on the Spout Podcast, and that will wrap up my chat with Sombr. Be sure to stream his latest song, Undressed. It is out now, and if you have a crazy hamster death story, let us know. I don't know what Sombr's parents know about his, but they know something. I'm looking at you, too. I'm looking at you. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to the Spout Podcast, where we've got brand new episodes every week. The past 2 weeks, our very own Eric Zachary has had some great chats. One was with Young Kai, whose song Blue went insanely viral on TikTok.
That felt like a dream just now.
How did you know Blue was the right song and it was the right time and it didn't matter what the industry norms were?
I didn't know. It's like I just put it out.
I
you know?
appreciate your honesty. How are you finding the time and reserving the time to continue to write?
I will definitely write about today.
Would you ever be interested in scoring a TV show or a film?
That's like a dream of mine too, to get a song in a K-drama.
Is there a specific one?
and the other is Dasha, who returns to the Spout Podcast for the second time after chatting with Tamra Dia first. Dasha now takes shots and dances with Eric Z. She teaches Eric to dance, so I think that in itself is a reason to check it out. So let's talk about American Idol. Yes, the show that we all grew up watching, the one that gave us Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, William Hung. You guys remember William Hung, right? In his cover of Ricky Martin's song, She Bang, She Bang. It was pretty damn good. It made me the man who I am today. But this 23rd season, people aren't just talking about the voices, they are talking about Nepo babies. One contestant who's caught in the internet's attention is Bailey Littrell, the 21-year-old son of Backstreet Boys member Brian Littrell. And yes, it's his last name that people are talking about. Some fans and even some fellow contestants have taken to social media to say that it's unfair that someone with those kind of connections is being featured so prominently this season. Now, let's be real for a second, okay? So this whole Nepo baby debate has been going strong for a while now, but here's my take. I just don't hold it against anyone for having connections. You can be a child of a superstar, but if you don't have the talent, the charm, or the work ethic, you're not going to make it, especially not in today's world where everyone has social media, and that gives everybody a shot to be seen. I mean, we've got people going viral from their bedrooms, from gas station concerts, so talent always finds a way. So if you're a human with a passion for music, no one should be bullied or discredited for something that they didn't choose, like who their parents are. But also, no one should just be handed a career without putting in serious work. And the best part of this industry is that talent usually rises to the top. So Bailey, if you're watching, do your thing, man. Let's see what you got. And speaking of Backstreet Boys, AJ McLean just gave us one of the most hilarious flashbacks to the Backstreet Boys early days. He was out at 90s Con recently, and he told a story about how he and Nick Carter got into a literal fist fight over a comic book, like a full-on brawl. There were punches being thrown, blood was drawn, and guess who broke it up? A naked Kevin Richardson walking out of the shower like some kind of peacemaker gladiator wielding his sword. That sounds terrible. Can we get a dramatized version of this scene on Netflix stat, though? I think we would all appreciate that. But don't worry, the boys are still going strong. And, in fact, AJ recently confirmed that the Backstreet Boys are gearing up for their Las Vegas residency, where they're going to be performing their Millennium album in full. And I will personally never forget when I was like 7 or 8 years old, my Aunt Joanne, she took my siblings and I to Barnes & Noble and bought us the Millennium album. So it was a hit in the major house, and its cover will forever be baked into my brain. I'm assuming that's what the guys are going to be wearing, the white outfit from the cover. They'll have those on at some point during the show. But with all this Backstreet Boys talk, it only makes sense to also mention NSYNC. Ever since their surprise reunion with the song Better Place for the Trolls Band Together soundtrack, if you all like the Trolls movies, check it out. Great soundtrack, honestly. Fans have been wondering, is more music coming? Is there a tour in the works? And while nothing is official yet, I'm just going to say that all signs are pointing to something is in motion. I saw a video like back in January maybe, and it was a couple of the NSYNC guys out at a Justin Timberlake show in the crowd watching him, and he looked out and saw them in part of it, and it was so good. And then they all joined Justin out at the Wiltern last year in Los Angeles, where they played a couple NSYNC songs. So we just want a tour and an album and music videos and everything. That's it. That's all that we're asking for, NSYNC. Thank you for answering my requests. And circling back to American Idol, by the way, but really specifically Kelly Clarkson, the winner of season 1, because she did an awesome cover of NSYNC's Trolls song, Better Place. So I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of that and that you check it out. So who here needs something new to watch on TV? What about a show filmed like any other show you have ever seen before? This British crime drama series has captivated audiences, including myself, audiences like myself. I stumbled on my words there, but the show is called Adolescence, and it follows the story of a 13-year-old boy accused of murdering a classmate. The series is notable for its unique filming technique, with each of its 4 episodes shot in a single take, adding to the tension and the realism of the narrative, and it truly, really does. These are like 20, 30-minute episodes where it's all filmed on one camera, it's all done in one take, but they're going from location to location seamlessly, flawlessly, going in between people's stories, and never for a second does a shot look out of place? So big props to everyone who was involved with this both in front and behind scenes, because it was like a beautifully orchestrated show to watch. And I hope it wins all the awards that it's nominated for, and I hope it's nominated for all the awards. And Adolescence, that's what it's called. It really kind of felt like a crime documentary. The story, as you were watching it unfold, especially with the way that it was like told, it was crazy. But with that, there's a brand new Netflix crime documentary that, as of today, of me recording this, it dropped today. So I have yet to watch it, but I will be watching it tonight. So I need to shout it out. Gone Girls, The Long Island Serial Killer. It's a compelling 3-part docuseries that is directed by the acclaimed Liz Garbus, who earned an Academy Award nomination back in 1998 for the documentary The Farm, Angola, USA. And this series delves deep into the chilling Gilgo Beach murders, a case that began back in 2010 with the discovery of multiple women's bodies along Long Island's Gilgo Beach, many of whom were sex workers whose disappearances had been largely overlooked. All 3 episodes are available now on Netflix, offering an in-depth look into the case that has captivated and horrified the nation. So check it out if you need something new to watch this week. And if you are one of those who still like to get yourself into the movie theaters, which I am, I was just at the movies with my dad today. We saw the new Robert De Niro movie, The Alto Knights, where De Niro, he plays both of the main characters. He plays the 2 mobsters in it who are like rivals. It's crazy. He's in face makeup as one of them, and I didn't love the movie, but I think I just need to learn more on the story of who all these characters were, because it's based on a true story, and there were a lot of people. But anywho, back to where I was going. Let's take a look at the top 3 performing movies from the U.S. box office this past weekend and see what's turning a profit and what's flopping. And let us not forget that a movie must make at least twice its budget in theaters to be considered profitable, because while it is in theaters, the studio gets about half the ticket sale and the theater gets about half the ticket sale. So the studio needs to make double that to recoup the full amount, if that all kind of makes sense to you. Coming in at number 3 this past weekend in the U.S. was The Chosen, Last Supper Part 1. I don't even know what this series is, but when I was just at the movie earlier today, I saw a Fathom Events like trailer for this. So now I have heard of it. And I can tell you that The Last Supper is an American biblical drama about the last days of Jesus. It's a faith-based franchise. And it actually made some impressive money this past weekend. It brought in $11.49 million, again, number 3 on the U.S. box office top charts, but there was no budget given for it. I always love to compare the budget to the box office numbers to see what's making money and what's not, what's hot, what's not, but we don't get to see with this one. Number 2 at the box office is Disney's Snow White, the live-action remake of the Disney classic that started it all back in 1937. This was the first Disney cartoon. Like, Walt Disney put everything he had into this because he just saw such potential in this cartoon. Like, he put himself in debt over it or something crazy. But almost 90 years later, and what an incredible accomplishment for the day. And it still is such a mesmerizing piece of work. But the new live-action version stars Rachel Zegler, and it brought in $14.2 million on its second weekend in theaters. And it's got one of those modern day big Disney budgets with a price tag of $250 to $270 million. So it's got to make at least $500 or $520 million to break even. And it's looking like it's gonna flop hard. It's brought in a worldwide total of $143.1 million. So unfortunately, things aren't looking good on this one. But speaking of the number one movie at the box office this weekend, it stars one of my favorite action movie stars and former professional, I believe, Olympic diver, Jason Statham. His action thriller is called A Working Man. The screenplay is by Sylvester Stallone, so you know that this thing is going to be packed with action from beginning to end. Statham plays Levin Cade, a former Royal Marines commando turned construction worker. The story kicks into gear when his boss's teenage daughter is kidnapped by human traffickers. And it brought in $15.2 million in the U.S. on its first weekend with a budget of $40 million. So it's looking, it needs to make a minimum of $80 million. And worldwide, as of now, it has made $30.2 million. So it's got a ways to go, but I have faith in Jason Statham. But regardless, I'm so happy to see him topping the box office charts. The Crank movies changed me when I was in middle school, in high school rather. God, I loved those movies. And with that said, you should have plenty of new things to watch on TV or in the theaters and be caught up on some music news. Very happy that we had some Backstreet Boys talk in there, and fingers crossed for that NSYNC reunion. Shout out to Sombr for taking the time to chat chat. And I am once again Nick Major with the Spout Podcast, the show where celebrities spout off about more than what they're famous for. We'll see you next time.